Now, the next question, in fact there are two questions now. How can I motivate unmotivated students, and how can we adapt the books for different class sizes and classes with students of varying levels? I think these two questions are connected, because I think for both the teacher and the students, a very large class can be difficult in motivational terms, and certainly a class where there are different levels of students in the same classroom. And let's face it, most classes that we have are mixed ability in some way or other. And I've actually done a talk for the British Council, it's on the British Council website, about this very subject called Motivating the Unmotivated. There's the reference to it. It's 55 minutes long. If you want to see me talking more about this subject, please go there. But I'll start off by my thoughts about motivating students. And I came up with a few things which I mentioned in my talk: making your students curious, challenging them, devolving responsibility, flipping the lesson, which we've already talked about, and a few other things. And this time I want to talk about making your students curious. I think this is a very interesting way to engage them and motivate them. And I think it's particularly with reading text. So I'm looking at another reading text here, which is from Smart Choice 2, Unit 9. And with a lot of reading texts in Smart Choice and other books, we have a pre-reading activity. In this case, it says, look at the picture, what do you think the story is about? Well, the picture is of a car that's been in an accident. If the students are looking at the book, the page on the book, they look at the picture, they look at the text, and they speed read the text to find out rather than come up with their own ideas. This is okay. This is a good micro skill. Speed reading is a good micro skill, so we mustn't stop them doing that. But if you really want them to just look at the picture without the text, separate it in the way that I'm doing on the screen. It's very simple to do. You can do it with an eye tool, a Smart Choice eye tool, or simply do a screenshot of the page, cut it up. It took me 5 minutes to get this presentation together. So the students look at the picture, which is a car that's been in an accident. They say what they think it is. It's a pre-intermediate class. I'm not expecting too much information. Do you think it's a serious accident? Not too bad, but the police were there. There's a police tape, so it might be serious. Then I give them the first 5 lines of the text. When a 6-year-old boy from Virginia, USA missed the school bus, he wasn't happy. He always had breakfast at school and he didn't want to miss it. He had an unusual and reckless solution to his problem. And then give your students just a few minutes to imagine what this boy did and how it connects with that car. And they're all very surprised, but they said, did he steal his father's car? And that is almost the answer. 6-year-old boy drives mom's car to school. So now on the screen, we've had the pre-reading task, we've had the first 5 lines and the heading, and now turn that off, open the books. Remember that if your students are teenagers or young adults, they probably prefer looking at screens, but we've looked at the screen, we've got the information, and now we turn that off and we look at the book. Create curiosity. It's a very motivating way of running your class. The second part, how can we adapt the books for different class sizes or classes with students of varying levels? Well, again, going back to my list of items from my British Council talk, I think devolving responsibility is a very, very good idea. Devolving responsibility, and this is what I mean by this. So in a class of 30 students, this is what I would recommend. You decide who the top 10 are. You give their names and say, come and see me after the class, which is interesting because students think they've done something wrong if they have to see the teacher after the class. And you tell these 10, or the third of the class, you are the best students in the class. Congratulations, I'm looking forward to teaching you. And the students feel quite pleased about this and say, but with this wonderful ability comes a responsibility. When I put you into groups from now on, I don't want you to work with each other. I want you 10 to stand up and go and form a group with 2 other students in the class. So you've got a situation where you've got one of your good students, we don't use words like good and bad in front of them, but one of your better students is working in a group with 2 of the others. And that's how it works. It's very simple. And interestingly, the thing that is most clear about doing group work is that some of the students don't really understand what they've been asked to do. And the first thing we'll do is they will ask the better student, probably in their own language, for some help. It's not a problem. If all the students in the class speak the same language, let them speak to each other in their own language in the groups. When they come back to you, you want some product in English. But you know, Your own language doesn't go away when you're learning a second one. It's there, it's a vital part of your personality, it's a part of your learning process. So let them speak to each other in their own language while they're doing the task. So for example, another thing, this is an image from Smart Choice 3, it's Unit 3. It's a very, very nice image of some art, some artistic clothing, a car. And the question is it art? Are these things art? Now what comes into this, I think interestingly, in a group work activity is that some of the students might know something about these things. They might know about the elephants in Thailand who paint pictures, they might know something about the fashion or the cars, and they again want to say it in their own language in the small group. And this is what another aspect which is find out what they already know. Some of your students will know lots of things about art, about music, about sport. They can share this information first of all in the small groups, and then the better student can maybe help them express it, or they can express it to the teacher as a result of the group work. So that's why I think groups are very important, and I think groups should be led by one of the better students.